Hello. Hi, everyone. This is Toshal here, and welcome to today's session. Um, Before we start, I just want to give a brief introduction about myself. My name is Toshal Khawale. I work with JP Morgan Chase as an engineering manager, and apart from that, I take a pride in actually leading AWS User Group Pune, and I am also a AWS community builder. Yeah. So, and if you look at my complete experience, I have 2 decades of industry experience, and I am based out of Pune. Yeah. So without any further ado, let's start with the session. Today we are discussing about a very interesting topic, which is like integrating your FinOps practice in your DevOps ecosystem. Yeah, I'm sure most of you must have uh, worked on various DevOps tools. Yeah, systems and so on. And we'll look at few of the things which will help you to actually do a cost control management on your DevOps ecosystem. Okay, so with that, let's move to the next screen. Yeah. So here is brief agenda of the session. I'm going to take you a brief into retrospect. What are the top challenges of the cloud environment? Yeah, and how it is related to DevOps. Yeah, we will see what are the challenges which are being faced, and then we'll look at the new term which is being used by many people right now, which is called as FinOps. So we'll look at FinOps, and then its relationship with the DevOps ecosystem, how we can utilize the FinOps to actually create a kind of an environment where we are having a complete visibility control on the cost what we have in our environment. And then we'll close our session with few tips on saving cost on AWS. Okay, so let's do that. So before I jump on to this, we will look at few of the top challenges which cloud provider has faced. Okay, uh, one of the things I would say is people are anticipating or people are forecasting certain amount of cost associated with their cloud. Are they within the limit? Are they within the budget? Okay, is it going beyond my expected budget? Yeah, whether my cloud is secure. Yeah, do I have the right measures, do I have the right security measures on my cloud environment to make it secure? And the next challenge I would say is, do I have the right skill set to manage? So these are the few things, but what does the data say for all about this? So we'll look at the data. Yeah, so this is one of the report from Flexera, which is State of the Cloud report for 2024, which outlines the top challenges any cloud environment is facing. So what are the top challenges? If you look at before 5 years, 6 years, the topmost priority on any CIO, CXO was the security of the cloud. Now, if you look at this latest report, the change has happened in terms of various priorities. The cloud cost has become one of the topmost priority for any CXO, and that is evident from the from the respondent, whether it is from the enterprise market or whether it is from the SMB. So if you look at 84% says that yes, managing cloud spend is very critical for their business. Enterprise also says that yes, 84% uh, is the cloud spend. I'm worried about it, and then the SME market is also. Security has taken backstage, and it is now 81% respondent are saying that yes, security is my priority. And the third and the very critical part of any environment is the lack of resource expertise on that field. Hmm? So so that is one of the challenges what are faced by a lot of organization in this ecosystem. Yeah, so we'll move to the next. So everybody with me on this? Yeah, fine. If you have any kind of questions, you can put it in the chat and I will try to respond you as early as possible. So now we have seen that the priority has changed for the organization, and cost is has become a very important factor in the organizations. Yeah. So we have to look at one of the very important practice which is being evolving over a period of time, which is called as FinOps. Yeah. What is FinOps? We'll see that. But FinOps is nothing but a cloud financial management discipline, and a culture that, yeah, that enables a organization to maximize business values, yeah, to help engineering team, finance team and business team to collaborate on a data driven spending decision, and control the cost overall on your environment. So this is one nothing but the FinOps. So if you look at the definition of FinOps, yeah, so let us look at the FinOps. By the way, just a kind of a reminder that FinOps is not about financial operation. Okay, so it is a combination of finance plus the DevOps. It is nothing but a Porter manner, stressing the communication and collaboration business and engineering team. So it's a combination of finance and the DevOps. Okay, so ops of the dev is the combination of the FinOps. Yeah. So let us look at the definition. This is the definition which is coined by FinOps Foundation. It is the practice of bringing financial accountability to the variable spend model of cloud, enabling teams to make business trade-offs between their spend, cost, and quality. Hmm? So FinOps is one of the foundation which is actually running under the umbrella of the Linux Foundation, and which is giving guidance in terms of what are the best practices we should follow when it comes to the financial management and so on. Yeah. You can get more details if you go to their website, FinOps Foundation, and you will get more details. In this session, I'm going to cover a few of the aspect of FinOps, and then we'll move to the different aspect which will touch base your DevOps ecosystem. Yeah. So with this, we will move to the basic principles which are governing the FinOps. Yeah. So here are the basic principles. So one of the very critical part is nothing but a team. Yeah, when we are working in an organization, we are working with different teams. Be it an engineering team, be it the DevOps team, be it the security team, the finance team, the operation team, administration team. One of the key principle of FinOps is the team collaboration. All the teams need to collaborate and actually, yeah, work together as a team so that we drive towards a common goal. Then, because cloud spend is attached to each and every component in your organization, every team needs to drive this as a kind of a personal ownership. Okay, suppose I am a DevSecOps engineer, and I am doing some kind of a practice on my environment. I should be actually able to, yeah, I should be able to own it and then take the necessary action to actually reduce the cost. So personal ownership of the cloud usage is critical. Then whenever we are working with the cloud spend, having the right report at your hand is very important. Giving the report at the right time is also very important. So having the access to the timely report is one of the critical principle of the FinOps. Then we need a kind of a central governance team which actually looks after each and every aspect of the FinOps. So we'll see different domains and everything of the FinOps, but yes, we need to have a centralized FinOps teams which majorly focuses on the FinOps operations. Then one of the other principle is, yeah, decisions which are driving our business values. Whatever we are doing in our organization, if they are not aligned to our business goals, they will not yield the right result for us. So this is the one of the criteria where every business person will look from the IT people. Yeah, so we need to have a values which are driven by the business decision. Then, because we are living in a cloud era, we are able to take the advantage of the cloud environment. Yeah. Previously, when we were working mostly on the on-premise environment, we have very limited leverage in terms of the scalability, yeah, availability, reliability, which are the key tenets of the cloud environment. Now, because of this, yeah, we can take advantage of the cloud, and we can actually use the various principles which are part of the cloud environment to save the cost. Okay, fine. So these are the principles which governs the various, yeah, various practices of the FinOps. Yeah. Next, then when we are actually working with the FinOps team, yeah, or with our different stakeholders, we also need to look at the different personas. Now, what are personas? These are nothing but the role played by a particular person within an organization, irrespective of its individual role. Hmm? So, we'll look at the personas. So, what are the personas? Here are the personas. Okay, so we can divide them into core personas, and we can divide them into allied personas. So if you look at core personas, what are the different personas? Engineering team, product team, leadership team, finance team, and the procurement. And one of the very critical component of this persona is the FinOps practitioners. The FinOps practitioners are nothing but the person who are driving the FinOps practices in the organization. Okay, so let us look at the definition. Who are this core person? These are the person who are always involved in the FinOps. Yeah, they they drive the discipline, yeah, for the effective use of cloud in the environment. Okay, all these personas will play a different role in the organization to actually preach this FinOps. Yeah, and all these personas will have different challenges in terms of uh, their daily work, or what is the end result they are trying to drive. Okay, so all the different personas will have different goals to meet. For example, if I look at my finance team will always look at a cost conscious spend on the cloud. So that is the critical part. Then I have my leadership team. Having a buying of a leadership team is very critical to a success of any cloud spend activity. Yeah, my product team plays a very vital role in terms of driving my product, but again they have to be part of this complete FinOps ecosystem to actually drive the cost saving. The major owners of actually driving utilizing the best practices in the tech space is on the engineering team, and they play a very critical role in that. Now we will look at the allied personas. What are those allied personas? Those personas which are not directly associated with the FinOps practice. Okay, they actually intersect between the different capabilities which are defined by the FinOps. So they are actually a kind of a supporting personas to the FinOps. So one of the very most visible kind of a persona is nothing but a sustainability. Everybody is trying to dive, yeah, trying to drive towards sustainability. Yeah, AWS has a major kind of a goal to actually become completely on what you can say renewable energy. Yes, they have a target of it. Yeah, so I don't remember off the head that what is the end date for it, but then every cloud major cloud player has a kind of a goal to actually have a more sustainable environment. So these are the personas which are playing very critical role in the organization. Now let's move to the next slide. So this is nothing but the different phases of our FinOps. How do you implement, or how do you take care of the FinOps implementation? So if you look at the, the three aspect, one is inform, optimize, and operate. So in the inform stage phase of the FinOps cycle, what we are looking is to have a clear visible report, yeah, in terms of the what is the cost allocation, what is the cost spending, what is the chargeback cost to my different organization, did I forecast the cost properly, do I have the budget, yeah, to actually uh, spend on my certain products. So in this inform phase, we need to actually, yeah, have the right data, have the right statistic, and give the right insight to the stakeholder to succeed in this. The next is nothing but your optimize. Yeah, yeah. FinOps is a practice which is kind of a iterative, and we'll talk about that in the later stages. But when we are actually, yeah, starting practice of FinOps, optimize phase plays a very very critical role, because this is the execution part of the FinOps thing. So what do we do in this optimize? We try to focus on implementing certain cost saving measures, and then deliver and trying to drive the efficiency in the cloud environment. So what are the ways we look at utilizing the reserved instance for any kind of a long running environment? We look at the right sizing, yeah, doing this right sizing of our environment. Automation plays a very critical role. I will look at that aspect when we are talking about the DevOps, and then having the right placement of those workload in the right environment. And then the operate phase, which is like a improving on what we are having already, yeah, and that comes from the culture we build for our cloud environment. So we need to cultivate a environment uh, culture where we are actually focused on saving the cost. We also need to understand the economics of the unit cost. What is I'm spending for my EC2 instance? Can I utilize some different EC2 instance to derive some kind of a cost saving? How fast I am going to deliver my solution to the end users, and what are the values I am going to drive from this complete phase. Okay, so these are the phases of the FinOps, and very critical from your outcome of your FinOps cycle. So let's look at a brief roadmap how it will look like, yeah, if you want to start that journey. So when we are actually trying to plan and look at the roadmap, there are multiple phases in this roadmap. One is to plan what we want to achieve, whether we want to achieve a x number of saving on our cloud environment, whether we want to actually align our technology with a more cost driven kind of environment, or somewhere else. So planning is very very critical for a success of our FinOps practice. Then, because we have seen that FinOps is not about just one team, and we have seen in one of the principle, we need to socialize this. We need to make this relevant to each and every individual in the organization, so that people are aware that they have to be cost driven in terms of utilizing their environment. Then we create a plan, we prepare for it, and we actually launch our environment, launch our various what you can say measures to drive the cost, and then we move into the run phase. Okay, so there are different things in the roadmap. You can see that, yeah, we need to do a lot of research, yeah, we need to look at the pain points, yeah, we need to also identify the advocates. Advocates are nothing but people who are actually the driving force behind a kind of a initiative like this. A top down approach is very very critical, very helpful when we are looking for this kind of, yeah, then we create plan, cultivates, yeah, early stakeholders, do initial resourcing which are, and then we look at the KPIs, yeah, or the what are the different tools which are we are going to do, and what are the common plans we are going to have. Then uh, in the socialized plan, we need to actually have a steering committee to actually steer this initiative, yeah. Then we need to build a kind of a operating model which will actually help us to derive what are the various KPIs which we are going to use, and so on, yeah. And then take a small step, have some small wins which will help us to actually motivate people to go and take this path, and then all those things will follow later on, yeah. So these are the nothing but the different aspect when we are actually adopting the FinOps in our organization. Okay, then we'll move to the next. We'll look at how does all this looks from a maturity model perspective. Okay, as I told you, FinOps is a iterative practice. Yeah, we have to iterate it, and over a period of time, it will mature into a more robust, yeah, very accurate system. So there are different phases in the maturity model. Those are nothing but crawl, walk, and run. Yeah. So what is crawl? Crawl is, as the name suggests, we need to take some baby step. We need to have small steps to actually start inculcating the various practices of FinOps. Like take yeah, have we will have um, very small reporting for our cost. We might using very elementary kind of a tooling to actually measure the cost. Yeah. um, okay. Then we defined what are the various KPIs which will actually help us to measure, help us to quantify the success of our. Then we need to define basic processes, policies, which will help us to derive that. Then once we understood what are the capabilities, okay, we have to push the various stakeholders in the organization to follow that, and then we have to take right measures to achieve those low hanging fruit. Okay, so crawl is a step which will actually give us a base in terms of what we are going to achieve in the next steps, which are the major steps. The second part or second step in the maturity model is walk. Okay, once we understood our capabilities, what are the capabilities we have, and we need to follow that within the organization. Okay. um, we need to identify some of the corner cases, difficult cases. Yeah. And um, we need to actually l- work around it. Yeah. Okay. We can work around it, come to some conclusions, or we may take some time to actually look at the difficult use cases. Once we are in this stage, we are looking for some kind of a automation in our environment. Yeah. So we need to build some automation so that we reduce the human dependencies and cultivate an environment where everything is automated. Yeah. So yeah, so one of the things is most difficult cases are identified, and the effort needs to be put in to resolve those in a estimated manner. Yeah, we also define the medium to high goals KPI for our measurement. Okay, so this is where we are actually touching the major aspect of our complete maturity model. And the next part is the run model. Run model is nothing but where we everybody understands that what are the things we have to do, and everything is being followed within your organization. We start to actually address, tackle the difficult edge cases as well, and we are actually measuring the KPIs, the goals which we have. Yeah? And in this phase, run phase, we are we are at a level where our automation is the most preferred method. Yeah. So do we have any questions in the chat? uh I think not. Okay, so if there are questions, please let me know. Yeah. So so this is nothing but a maturity model. So whatever we have seen this till now, it's all about how do you implement the FinOps in your organization and how it is going to help you to reach to a certain level. Now, let's just relate few of them to the DevOps ecosystem. Okay, so you must be aware with the different actually practices which we are actually doing as part of a DevOps. Okay, so what are the different things? We use CI/CD pipeline, we use infrastructure as a code, we have automation which is built into your DevOps pipeline, we use different collaboration tools. Very critical. We monitor, we have a feedback loop of whatever we are doing, and we also follow the culture of right mindset to succeed in a DevOps. Yeah, we follow a mindset of collaboration rather than being in a silos. So we'll look at what are the different drivers when it comes to the FinOps and the DevOps. So when we are actually looking at the the CI/CD pipeline, one of the key aspect which we look to actually save on the cost is the auto scaling. Yeah, and how do you save cost by using auto scaling? We adjust the requirement of our environment by supplying or providing the right amount of the resources to fulfill that need. When we see a huge spike in terms of demand, auto scaling will help you to scale your environment, match to the demands, and provide you the right results. Similar way, it can help you to reduce your infrastructure cost by descaling your environment. Yeah, so auto scaling is one of the very, very important aspect in your environment. So the next, utilizing the various features of cloud environment in terms of the cost saving provided for the infrastructure. Okay, so for example, we can utilize spot instance, we can utilize reserved instance. Spot instance gives you a very, very good saving in terms of the cost when you don't have any kind of a long living um, kind of a use case, yeah, or long living kind of a environment, then spot instance becomes very, very important aspect of your environment. Then when we are working with the CI/CD pipeline, we should actually have some parallel execution of our pipelines. Yeah, by doing that, it will actually help us to reduce the cost, the time what we are going to what we are going to deliver as part of the SDLC pipeline. Yeah, so we will have multiple parallel execution of the pipeline, and that is also one of the factor in reducing the cost. Then having an incremental build of your, yeah, CD process or CI/CD process will help you, yeah, rather than starting the build from the start. Have an incremental build in your environment, that will also save a lot of cost for you. Yeah, then having right governance policies, governance in terms of who is actually having the access to the particular pipeline, whether it is intended as part of his job role, and so on. So you need to have the right governance policies that will actually avoid the misuse of the various tools, resources which are available. Then one of the very, very important or aspect of a technology shift, which is modernizing your application by using the containerization technology. We can containerize the workload what we are having within our environment, and that will solve lot of cost cost concerns. Yeah, so these are the various, what you can say, um, things which are related to the CI/CD. Then we will move to the next aspect, which is nothing but your infrastructure as a code. Yeah, so we'll look at infrastructure as a code. What are the different concerns, what are the different things which will help cost when we are using the IAC tool? Yeah, so creating a modularization of your deployment modules. For example, if I want to build a VPC in the AWS, then create a module for it, give that module to be consumed by the various people in my organization, and utilize it. By creating a modularization, you will be able to save some amount of the cost. Yeah, so yeah, so you, which is kind of a reusable, you can use it. You remove the duplicacy of those things what are being done by one team as compared to another team. So giving a modularization will help you. Then automation. Yeah, so automation, yeah. um, uh, when I say automation, it is not just about creating the resources, it is also about deletion of the resources. When we do not need any kind of resource within our environment, we can simply go and delete it. Yeah, so a kind of um, daily, nightly kind of a job which is run, so that we delete the resources which are not needed, and we spin up that when we actually need it again in the morning. Yeah, we can use the automation to drive the cost saving in this ISC aspect. Then, yeah, having your environment segregated into different environment, and then having the different policies to drive the cost. For example, I might need to test certain things in my lower environment, I can very well go and utilize some spot instance to spin up those in environment. Yeah, why do I need a on demand kind of a machine to spin up that resource? Okay, so having the different skill, different kind of processes, tools to actually being put to use in the different environment will help you to save some cost. Yeah, so having a network environment segmentation will help you in that. Then utilizing the policy as a code will help you to actually drive the cost saving in various way. Yeah, so that will actually create a culture of you can utilize the same code to spin up the same resource, yeah, without diverting any kind of a changes. Yeah, then and then to measure the cost within any cloud environment, we should have the right tagging policies, labeling policies in the environment. It will actually help you to put a team's name to a certain cost, or to have a certain specific project which can be built, which can be looked upon, which can be monitored for certain costs. So having the right tags is a very critical part of any, yeah, cloud cost saving environment. Okay, so then we'll move to the next aspect of our DevOps cycle, which is nothing but automation. Yeah, so what are the different things we can do within the automation? We can actually save some kind of a maintenance cost by utilizing best practices to maintain our own environment, yeah, rather than going for a manual. When we are working with a automated flow, we also need to ensure that we have the right compliance, yeah, built into our automation, right risk management portfolio built into our environment, and so on. When we are actually utilizing the automation, we also reduce the overtime which is spent in terms of working on an environment, yeah, practicing with the environment, and so on. Hmm? So we will reduce some kind of a environment. And one of the very critical aspect of automation, we will have a consistent environment with accuracy. So those are also going to have a key impact on the cost saving. Yeah, with the different automation tools, we will have different insights and decision making capabilities which will actually save some time. So moving on to next, which is nothing but a collaboration. Yeah, so because we are working with the DevOps principle, and we are actually utilizing various tools, so we need to have a sharing kind of a, resources between different tools, different teams. Yeah, so by using a shared resource, we will be able to save some sort of a cost. Yeah, then we will be able to have a right kind of a flexibility, scalability when we are actually utilizing the various collaborative tools. For example, we have our resource control system, which will we will be able to scale as and when we are needing to have more storage on an environment. Yeah, we can have better resource allocation, yeah, when we are using a one resource which can be utilized by two teams, and by doing so we are saving some cost. Yeah, so these are the various things you can do when it comes to the collaboration tools. And the last, not the last, but yeah, monitoring aspect. Monitoring is very critical for detection of the issues at the early stage, and that is one of the principle of DevOps, that if you detect the problem early in the life cycle, you will be able to actually save a lot of cost. Yeah, we also need to have efficient resource utilization, and that comes from our observation of our various reports and insights. Yeah, always provide a transparent report to the different stakeholders so that they can take action based upon there. When we are doing a monitoring, we also need to have a adherence to the budget. We can have different budgets set to different projects, team, and so on. Hmm? Yeah, by having a holistic view of different environments, by using the monitoring, we can do a better scaling of our environment. Yeah, and then we'll move to the last, which is nothing but a cultural shift. Yeah, DevOps is all about the culture. Yeah, we have to have some shared goals. we need to create an environment of a cost awareness, and we need to collaborate with the cost functional teams. Yeah, that is what is going to help us derive some sort of a cost saving. Yeah, we can also do that by having some kind of a decentralized decision making. Yeah, certain people can take care of their cost decisions which will align to our organization goals. So by doing so, yeah, we will have more awareness in terms of cost which is incurred in their environment, and they will take a lot of interest, a lot of follow-ups in terms of reducing the cost. Yeah, and again it ties up to the principle that yes, every individual has to have a personal what you can say uh, focus on saving the cost. Yeah, so those are the different aspect we touch in terms of the the DevOps practices which we are, and how those are going to be helping us to actually save some cost. Yeah, fine. So that's it. So now we will move and we'll look at various measures, methods which are going to help you to save some cost on AWS environment. Yeah, we have seen that having the right sizing of your compute instance to match your workload will save you some cost. Yeah, moving from let's say Intel based kind of a processor to a Graviton based or ARM based processor will actually save certain cost, and there are various benchmark testing which are available to you to actually go and compare it and take some. Yeah, then migrating your Windows workload to the Linux can have a kind of a different impact as well. Yeah, so you can utilize that kind of a migration path as well to save some cost. Then one of the very a good aspect of being on the cloud is you get a lot of managed services at your disposal. We can utilize those managed services to to save some cost in terms of the human resources, in terms of the manageability administration of the those resources. And moving from a kind of infrastructure based architecture to a serverless architecture has seen multiple benefits of driving the cost saving. So looking at a serverless architecture for your technology architecture will actually lead to some kind of a cost saving. Yeah, another important is data transfer cost. When we are working in a cloud environment, we also need to look at the data transfer cost which is incurred in your environment. So having right segregation of your data within the region will save you some kind of a cost. Reducing the inter-region transfer of data will save you some cost. Okay, so these are the different methods what you can utilize on AWS to save the cost. Yeah, so with that I come to the end of my session. Yeah, um, yeah, so that's it from me. Yeah, and if you have any queries, if you have any questions, you can reach me on LinkedIn, you can reach me on Twitter. Yeah, I will be able to respond you. Yeah, if you ping me and ask any queries, I will be more than happy to respond to you. Yeah, so with that, thank you very much. Yeah, bye bye. Thank you.